Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. If you are going through hell, keep going. The positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. When you're 20 you care what everyone thinks, when you're 40 you stop caring what everyone thinks, when you're 60 you realize no one was ever thinking about you in the first place. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. To improve is to change, to be perfect is to change often. The price of greatness is responsibility. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Never give up on something that you can't go a day without thinking about. A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. Never let a good crisis go to waste. My tastes are simple, I am easily satisfied with the best. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. History will be kind to me for I intend to write it. He who fails to plan is planning to fail. Never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 in nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. It is a mistake to try to look too far ahead. The chain of destiny can only be grasped one link at a time. I never worry about action, but only about inaction. All the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. If you find a job you love, you'll never work again. Sometimes doing your best is not good enough. Sometimes you must do what is required. Diplomacy is the art of telling people to go to hell in such a way that they ask for directions. Keep calm and carry on. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat. When there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. We are still masters of our fate. We are still captains of our souls. Before you can inspire with emotion, you must be swamped with it yourself. Before you can move their tears, your own must flow. To convince them, you must yourself believe. For myself, I am an optimist. It does not seem to be much use to be anything else. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. I am always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. If you don't take change by the hand, it will take you by the throat. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word. It is victory, victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory, however long and hard the road may be, for without victory, there is no survival. You create your own universe as you go along. I no longer listen to what people say, I just watch what they do. Behavior never lies. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. All men make mistakes, but only wise men learn from their mistakes. An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you are likely to see. Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others. We are masters of the unsaid words, but slaves of those we let slip out. A fanatic is one who can't change his mind and won't change the subject. When the eagles are silent, the parrots begin to jabber. Good and great are seldom in the same man. If two people agree on everything, one of them is unnecessary. Everyone is in favor of free speech. Hardly a day passes without its being extolled, but some people's idea of it is that they are free to say what they like, but if anyone else says anything back, that is an outrage. Most of the world's work is done by people who don't feel very well. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. The most important thing about education is appetite. A small lion needs a bodyguard of bigger lies to protect it. I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals. There are plenty of good ideas, if only they can be backed with the power of action. Rugby is a hooligan's game played by gentlemen. A politician needs the ability to foretell what is going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year. And to have the ability afterwards to explain why it didn't happen. If you have 10,000 regulations, you destroy all respect for the law. I only believe in statistics that I doctored myself. We contend that for a nation to try to tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle. There comes into the life of every man a task for which he and he alone is uniquely suited. What a shame if that moment finds him either unwilling or unprepared for that which would become his finest hour. This paper, by its very length, defends itself from ever being read. One man with conviction will overwhelm 100 who have only opinions. Life is a test and this world a place of trial. You can measure a man's character by the choices he makes under pressure. Great success always comes at the risk of enormous failure. We have no lasting friends, no lasting enemies, only lasting interests. If you want to discover new oceans, you must first have the courage to leave shore. I may be drunk, miss, but in the morning I will be sober and you will still be ugly. I'm too busy. I have no time for worry. If we open a quarrel between past and present, we shall find that we have lost the future. It is no use saying, we are doing our best. You have got to succeed in doing what is necessary. Criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. It fulfills the same function as pain in the human body. It calls attention to an unhealthy state of things. To be really happy and really safe, one ought to have at least 2 or 3 hobbies, and they must all be real. What is the use of living? if it be not to strive for noble causes and to make this muddled world a better place for those who will live in it after we are gone. Meet success like a gentleman, disaster like a man. There is nothing wrong with change if it is in the right direction. Preparation is, if not the key to genius, then at least the key to sounding like a genius. The opposition occupies the benches in front of you, but the enemy sits behind you. Life is fraught with opportunities to keep your mouth shut. You create your own universe as you go along. The stronger your imagination, the more variegated your universe. When you leave off dreaming, the universe ceases to exist. Your greatest fears are created by your imagination. Don't give in to them. My education was interrupted only by my schooling. Time is one thing that can never be retrieved. One may lose and regain friends. One may lose and regain money. Opportunity, once spurned, may come again. But the hours that are lost in idleness can never be brought back to be used in gainful pursuits. My most brilliant achievement was my ability to be able to persuade my wife to marry me. All the great things are simple. There is only one answer to defeat, and that is victory. Money is like manure, it's only good if you spread it around. Never does a man portray his character more vividly than when proclaiming the character of another. There is a treasure in the heart of every man if you can only find it. Never abandon life. There is a way out of everything except death. I am prepared to meet my Maker. Whether my Maker is prepared for the great ordeal of meeting me is another matter.